started here because this is going to be exciting. I have to tell you, I am sad we don't have more participants here, but I understand schedules. And I know that with our good reporting that they're going to get a good article to read. I know that. And those of you that have come, thank you very much. And we ask that we have this historical presentation out of the kindness of our historical society, because we're a group of people trying to make decisions for our future and what direction we need to grow and build. And it's hard to know what direction to go if you don't know where you come from. And it's very important that we know and understand our history and all the quirks and the chuckles and the theories behind it all for us to lead forward into the next 100 years without remorse. So, thank you all for coming. I'd like to introduce Donna Ferrelli. Finicle. See, I knew I had it, but I just knew I'd forget. Donna Finicle, and she's been with the Historical Society as a director since about 2002?
No, actually I started in 2008, and I've been for about 5 years.
Okay.
The president of the Ute Pass Historical Society, i.e. de facto director.
That's what happens when you don't have notes. Anyway, I'm so happy to have her and Larry, and Donna will introduce Larry, who has just been a major contributor to our Historical Society, and it is on a good direction for all of us. So, Donna, thank you.
So, it was suggested that I say something about the Society and the museum, because we run into people all the time that don't know we have a history museum here, only it's History Park, okay, and that we have a historical society that started in 2003, and Jan Pennant, Marianne Black, and Marianne Davis and Sandy Lampy were the three original people who helped get it going in 2003. And now our mission is to try to preserve and share the history of the area from Cascade all the way through Divide. And the reason for that is there are museums down in Manitou. There's a museum in Florissant, so we cover the area in between, which is Ute Pass. Okay, so that's what we are trying to do. And I just wanted to find something interesting to do in 2008, and here I am. What can I say? The more you get into it, the more you really love it. And there is quite a history here, really. And I think you're going to love seeing some of the slides that Larry has to show. And that's pretty much what I wanted to say. And I want you to know it's north of the library, and there's 6 buildings, and we have a gift shop, which also has archives, and we have about 4,000 historic photos. So we have a bunch of volunteers. We're all volunteers, except for 2 part-time employees. Okay, so now I'm going to introduce Larry. Everybody by now should know Larry. When anybody talks about Woodland Park or history, Larry Black's name always comes up. So here's Larry.
Where are you going?
Right, I'm watching.
You watching?
Yeah.
Everyone has the book, the Woodland Park book. You don't have a copy, it's time you had one, because I'm not covering all the material in the book. This is just going to be 100 years on Main Streets.
One more thing, Larry. The brochure and the mobile app card you have that was passed out to you, the brochure is all about History Park. And then I don't know if everybody knows that we did a historic mobile app for all of Teller County with representatives from northern and southern Teller County. It took us about 3 years, but it's audio-visual mobile app for iPhone and Android, and it takes you to natural and historic places in Teller County. And it's a really great journey if anybody is interested in apps in history.
Before I begin, I want to thank Sally for finding the archives from 1983. I used a slide program from Sue Elder on the screen. That's from 1983. And some other slides from that program. I want to thank Bob for encouraging me to make it all digital. It worked out okay. So rather than using the historic slide program, we're using all digital. We're going to start with Woodland Park. May it go. This is from the 1983 introduction to Woodland Park. This is the Steffa area. Steffa, where you have the Steffa cabin with the Ute Pass Historical Society on the corner of Laurel. I don't know whether you've been in there recently, but it's really been updated. The Steffa. My request was to only cover from Laurel to West. Do you realize how hard that is to just do Laurel to West? There's not a big amount of area to cover. So we're doing Laurel to West with a little extension. Downtown Woodland Park, approximately 1890. This is a classic photo of Woodland Park at that time. Woodland Park, 1893 plus. On the photo it said 1890. It's incorrect because we have the Woodland Hotel in the top left corner, which was built in 1893. It cost the $14,000 in today's money, $500,000. This would be the time when carpenters were getting $1 a day. Remember, also in front of that hotel is where the baseball teams would come up on the Sunday to play, and there's also a garden area in front of that hotel. According to a lot of misinformation, it did not burn down. It was torn down. I have that on record by oral histories. Yes, it was a hotel, then a sanitarium, then a boarding house for apartments. Torn down in 1938. Everyone knows where that marker is. There's a granite marker up on Lorraine. Yes? No? According to oral histories also, when it became empty, the kids enjoyed roller skating on the porch, or if they could get inside, they liked to slide down the laundry chute from the top floor down to the basement. So there's a little thrill in Woodland Park during their childhood days. This is actually focusing from Voss's Antique, or the other names we have coming up. Here we have the Foster family. I've crossed the highway. The Foster section is on the south side. This is the Foster family, a couple kids, and Grandma Mabel Donahue, about 1900, the corner of Elm and Midland, torn down in 1986. The Fosters are famous for what? The Foster family are the ones that are, maybe you saw those books where you learn how to draw, way back in the 50s, 60s. Here we are, the Foster family of fame. So you have a little fame of people up here. They're not raising their hands, but a little ancestry here, the Fosters. So when you see those books, the Foster family, the Foster Grant in Woodland Park. Here we have Woodland Park, 1900. I questioned the date, maybe it's a little later, but check this tree out. Why that tree stays in the same place, and we're going through these other slides. It must have had some special meaning to someone. And we had the railroad over on the right-hand side, 1900, downtown Woodland Park. Here's the lake area, Woodland Park, 1910. Remember, near the lake area was one of the rodeo grounds where the city hall is. How did they do a rodeo ground? They would rally their wagons and make a circle and then have a rodeo ground. Downtown Woodland Park, 1935. The tree is still there. Over on the left side, you have the hotel. I don't remember what year the hotel was torn down. Downtown, 1935. And also when you're looking at this in 1935, remember this is Highway US 40, South US 40. This is South US 40. And when you're going out of town, you're getting a lot of trivia. This is to wake up the people in the back. What did the people do in the 1930s in Woodland Park? Did not have a lot of income, hunting for bobcats. The bounty was $5. That would be $85 today. And then they would probably eat the cat. Or maybe Mama said, well, he said, what's for dinner tonight? Oh, a fresh out of cat steak. We'll have squirrel pie. How many people have... Maybe $3. And you didn't have electric, you didn't have phone, you didn't have water, you didn't have sewer, and there's no job, so maybe you eat the cat. Bounty hunters, $5 a year. You just send a year to Denver. This guy made $15. Downtown 1930s, this is Mabel McDonough with her children. She's just been recently widowed. But check out the sidewalk. What kind of sidewalk do we have? Downtown Woodland Park, 1930s. Let me back that up. I have to stop and back it up. See where we are. No, oh, it went too fast. Sorry. I want to get the railroad in there. I'm not happy with this program I use, but it's the one that worked. Sorry. There's a little railroad there and evidence of the depot. This is called what hotel? La Fonda. Look at that. Classy Southwest architecture. Is now the apartment house. And who was one of the big owners in the 1950s and 60s? Johnny? Mary Jo? John? Enterprise on Fairview, making wreaths, garland, and hired many of the locals to make the garland, and was mailed across the nation. Johnny Wonder Jim. La Fonda Hotel. If you want to know more about living the one sister worked in there. I think she got $1 a day for working in the Fonda Hotel. Downtown Woodland Park, for those that have good. Downtown Woodland Park, 1950. I think it says Heinz Garage there. It's a classic photo. I think it's about 1950s by analyzing the cars for sure. Some of these have not been ever shown before. Questions?
Those are 40s, he says.
40s? They're 40s?
Yeah.
This is not the best picture of the rodeo grounds gone. For those of you stadium. I don't really have good eyesight, but this is the best I can find for the granite mill. The granite mill sat where the Vector Bank is today. Many of the guys did work in the granite mill. I do not have any photos of inside the granite mill, which would be nice. But this article gives the history of the granite mill. Then it became the auction barn. This is on the other side of the highway, though. It's not on Laurel to West. The granite mill then became the auction barn and the lock shop. Now Vector Bank. I'll move on. It's not Vector Bank, sorry. It is Vector Bank. It would have to stop here. This is a classic photo for me in the visitor center. I taught one of my biggest classes, 42 children, students, panoramic view. But we did have touring the part of the school. This is 1938 building.
Is that our first stoplight in town?
The stoplight, I don't know when the stoplight came.
I have a question, because that was my mother's high school gym, but it was our grade school. It was 5th and 6th for us, but there was a Spartan painted on the inside of that. Do you remember?
Inside, at one time it was K through 12.
Okay, but why was there a Spartan painted inside
The Spartan, they wanted to identify themselves separately from the Panthers. We were not Panthers because the Panthers were high school, and Spartans were the middle school. That was the reason. Some of those who were the coaches rejected saying we were Panthers when we were not Panthers. We were different. That's how the Spartans came up.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, I've asked everybody, and you're the only one that knew. Yes.
No, the room was really big. I had 42 students. This is trivia beyond. And one time I was taking attendance. I said, "Where's so-and-so?" Ooh, everyone had a smile on their face. Well, one of the kids had actually hid in the closet. There was a whole row of cabinets along the one side. He actually crawled and compacted himself inside the cabinet and shut the door. And I didn't know, but he was there, and it made for smiles for everyone. But that was one of those little things that makes you smile. Then we tore the middle part down in the 1990s. So we have the cultural center, but then we have the transformation of owners of the Boss's Antiques. It's changed hands, I don't know how many times. How many people shopped in Voss's Antiques? Did Mrs. Voss ever turn on the heat? No. But she knew what she... She actually registered on one of the churches of donating $1 or whatever. So she's been here, moved from Michigan. Boss's Antiques. And the classic photo, this is, I think, 1950s. I don't think it goes to 1960. The Pine Tree Motel. And Mary Jo knows the name of the person who ran the motel.
Yeah, Hattie was her name. She
Hattie?
best eggs in town, and she didn't like kids.
This is where the cafe and motel is now the parking lots. So it gives you the idea of change of character. This has not been in view that I know of recently. And what was the cowhand before it was the cowhand? It served as the grocery store. And who owned the grocery store?
Donnie
and Georgie Clifford.
Clifford, yes!
they bought it from Hollingsworth.
Ira and Georgia Bell Hollingsworth owned the building, and Donnie and Georgie Clifford was Georgia Bell's family, and they ran the grocery store.
Then there was also a grocery store up the steps, and they added a little extra on that. Fern Hammer shared in the oral history about going shopping there for whatever came out. Because in those days you didn't lock your car, you just would leave your key in the car. And as she was...
The original wood is still in there for the meat lockers. Wow. Where the dressing rooms are, it's still the original meat lockers, and it's the original wood in there.
Okay. And Fern said, well, I got home, I realized I had the wrong car. There was actually two cars the same color with the keys in, and she got in the wrong one. And she... So, downtown Woodland Park, 1960s, change of character, change its stores. But this one is for my reminder that we were doing shipping. When you get married, something happens with the locals.
Yeah, they show up at your house somewhere and you ask them to
'Cause- And we actually had newlyweds in the 19...
The post office?
That's the post office right in the middle, yep.
At that time, it was the post office then?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
The post office and that rock is still under that wooden siding in the used.
Wow.
And the horse isn't up there because they just voted to put the roof over the sidewalks to do that, so the horse didn't go up till after the roof was built. And they just started.
This is actually a photo from a private collection. This is not Historical Society. I had a friend that's offered to donate this. they were passing through, and I found it very interesting. I thought, yes, this reminds me there was not a lot of traffic and a chivalry could take place.
Look how wide 24 is.
Who is this person? Do you recognize her? Diane Heinz. But before she was Heinz, she was Diane Hathaway. And why have this? You're inside where Bucks was, but this is whose drugstore? Bonneville. And this is inside. But why I have this? In Woodland Park, we had the Hathaway family. The Hathaway family are famous for the Paul Hathaway's artwork and his furniture. How many people have a piece of Paul Hathaway's furniture? Only two families. Very collectible. Very collectible. But here you have an artisan in the area that I don't think a lot of people are aware of. And it'd be nice to have a piece for show and tell sometime of the heritage of the art in the area, even back then. This is Diane Hathaway. I don't know the years. Downtown Woodland Park, 1999. 1999. No traffic. You were dedicating the historic buildings for the Historical Society?
2003.
And I'm going to end with this one. This is going to be in the new book coming out, hopefully this year. This is the half-size Olympic pool on Rampart. Heated, 1951, 1952. Look at all the those from the Dude Ranches having a good time. What a classic shot when you think of Woodland Park with a lovely pool, panorama on a sunny day, 1950s. And that's all I have. Hopefully it opened your eyes.
Thank you so much, Larry.
Like that.
So we just wanted to take a show of hands due to the cool weather. We have 2 items scheduled to walk to the historic park. And then Lois Sprague, our mural artist, is waiting for us there at the mural to give us the exclusive insight on the special details behind some of the mural, recent mural, for example, Paradise Lodge, and some of the things she's added as special touches and persons that she's actually added to the mural. However, if you prefer not to walk over today, there is the unveiling on October 18th at 3 p.m., and she'll be talking to those details as well at this time. So a show of hands of who would like to walk over right now. Oh, wonderful. I would too. Okay, so we're going to go over. I'm going to let Lois know we're on our way. We're going to go via Historic Park, though, right, Donna, for just 5 minutes and then head that direction. But on behalf of Main Street, we wanted to thank everyone for coming tonight. And we do have, for that person's birthday, who's closest to today, a little gift. So could somebody tell me who has the closest birthday today? And thank you for attending. Okay, October birthdays, raise their hand. Oh, we have 2. Okay, Gail? 19th? 23rd. Gail's away. Thank you, everyone, for coming. So we'll just exit in the front, and we'll just head over to Historic Park. Oh. Thank you, Larry.
Good? I think it's wonderful.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
The rolling sequence of